This episode marks the halfway point of this series, which is strange considering we only just finished covering the Game 1 races. But we are talking a lot about elves today, with some of the cold-blooded reptiles at the end. This episode also makes for a big change of pace from the last one, where we talked about two races that needed a lot of love. In contrast, all of today's factions have been given a lot of characters to choose from, and while many people are wishing for a Lizardmen rework, my videos don't go into stuff like that. We only care about characters here, so let's start talking about some of them. It is no secret that the High Elves have one of the most impeccable navies in the entire Warhammer world. They are known for their sailing capabilities, and their ships are some of the finest in the world. In upkeeping this royal navy, much thanks must be sent to Sealord Iseland, who not only represents the seafaring nature of the High Elves, but also their narcissism. He doesn't enjoy the company of non-elves, and many say that he may have a bit too much enthusiasm in attacking the enemies of the High Elves. In battle, Iceland is ruthless. He has defended Oathwand from Norscan raids and set out to deal with pirates in the streets of Marienburg. But when he got into a fight at sea with the Dark Elf Lokir Fellheart, he was cut down due to the magic Lokir's weapons possessed. For most people, their story ends here, with a gash in their chest and a burial at the bottom of the sea. But Iceland somehow washed up on the shores of Ulthuan sometime later, with no memory of how he got there and no wound where Lokir's weapons struck. Some say the sea god Mathlan himself delivered Iceland from his watery grave. Whatever the cause of his miraculous survival, the Sea Lord was back once again and ready to defend the High Elven colonies wherever they might appear on the map. This is what he'll be up to in the Immortal Empires campaign, with a start location at the Tower of the Sun. These island colonies provide the perfect starting point for a seafaring campaign. Opportunity is everywhere for the Herald of Mathlan. While most High Elf pride seems to stem from an excess of narcissism, worthy of all the attention Slaanesh gives them, sometimes this pride does come from a sense of honor and duty. Such is the case for Princess Elira, who took up her father's sword to serve the king in his stead. Such honor and sacrifice, displayed so earnestly upon the High Elven court, was met just as one would expect elves to react, with mocking calls and disrespect. While most elves pretended not to show any interest in the young princess, Tyrion showed her kindness, and took her as his squire. The court didn't care for Elira, but Tyrion didn't care for the court's opinion. As Tyrion's squire, Elira received some of the best training in all of Ulthuan. Her skills as a warrior grew along with her skills at horse riding, with her noble steed Maladros. The end times saw her fighting the vampiric forces of Sylvania, but what happened to her is unclear and contradictory. Perhaps she became a vampire, or perhaps she became the avatar of the elven goddess of the underworld. Who knows for sure, but Elira, as the Princess of Tiranoc, will start her Immortal Empire campaign at Tor Enrock, where she will defend her home against the Dark Elves, demons, and vampirates. She may even launch an invasion on Nagaron for herself. I think Asen is a clear pick for a legendary lord, so to go along with the sea-themed DLC, the Sea Prince Aurelian would make for a great addition as a legendary hero. The first-born son of Phoenix King Finnebar, he lost the life of his dear brother to a leechworm while at sea. Seeking to return home with his dead brother's body, he joined Jago Roth's quest to destroy Count Noctilus and the galleon's graveyard. While Noctilus's magic proved too much for the elf prince, he was instrumental in destroying the Dread Fleet. Perhaps, with Noctilus wiped from the map, his magic too will fade, and the Sea Prince could return once more. My next pick would be either Ulthuan Stormrider, the defender of the Unicorn Gate, protected Ulthuan against an army of Dark Elf Corsairs, or Corhill Lionmane, the leader of the White Lions. While Corhill is similar to Alistar the White Lion, he can be made different enough to work. Meanwhile, Athron looks very similar to Altharion. I believe there is more demand for Corhill from the fans, so I would lean towards him, but Althron's Griffin makes for a very cool model. There is a place somewhere near Paravon where few dare tread, for the stories of the Black Prince still linger long after the Crime Lord's death. The Black Prince was a mysterious figure, with legends telling of the Lord being not a man, but a demon. In truth, the Black Prince was Drth, the Dark Elf. Once the captain of a Corsair ship capturing and transporting slaves for Nagaron, it all changed when he came into the possession of the Eye of Char, a powerful gem that warned its wearer of the future. Drth came to be wary of this power, and took precautions far beyond those who possessed the Eye before him. This is because Drth had the wisdom or the cunning to ask why the Eye hadn't warned the shaman who wore the artifact previously about his upcoming death at the hands of Drth. The full secret of the Eye still unknown to him, Drth abandoned the Dark Elves and turned towards chaos and the study of dark magic, to better control the Eye and reveal all its mysteries. From his tower, he enacted a sophisticated crime syndicate which attracted the likes of assassins from all over. Bretonnians, Dark Elves, and Wood Elves all wanted him dead, but they all failed. That was until the bounty hunter known as Brunner arrived, slew most of Drth's followers, and decapitated the Black Prince. In reality, Drth was never in danger, for Brunner actually killed one of his servants, who Drth told to assume his role while he disappeared off the map. While this led to him losing a considerable amount of power, it also provided a relief from the assassination attempts, as the world thought he was dead. But from his start position in Immortal Empires of Carrick Asgaraz, Drth once again seeks to regain all the power that comes with the title of the Black Prince. Violence and murder are things that Dark Elves know very well, but when your killing prowess scares even the followers of the murder god Cain, that is when you earn the title the Death That Walks Unseen. Shadowblade is the chief Cainite assassin of the Hag Queen Helebron. He once killed the entire crew of a High Elf hawk ship, leaving only a grimly wounded captain alive, in order to share how Shadowblade had meticulously and viciously slaughtered them one by one. But the stories of Shadowblade are many, and some may just be stories. Shadowblade makes sure that no one knows too much about him, as even Helebron has never seen his face. Those who tell too many tales about the deadly assassin wind up missing themselves. This makes it hard to know the true extent of Shadowblade's skills as an assassin, for no one knows if the powerful live despite Shadowblade's effort or because his allegiances lie in their favor. I have Shadowblade starting in the southern regions of the Kingdom of Ind, where he stalks a wide array of prey. Whoever is your mark won't last long when you command this Dark Elf assassin. As for legendary heroes for the Dark Elves, I have chosen two of the most violent and lethal among the heads of their armies. Karan Darkhand, captain of the Black Guard, is one of them. He got his start massacring the likes of men across the world, from Bretonnia, the Empire, and faraway Ind. He then received a promotion after murdering the previous captain of the Black Guard, rewarded by Malekith himself for his ruthlessness. Tularis Dreadbringer is the other, the chosen of Cain and the captain of the Harganeth Executioners. His mind touched by the god of murder, he hears the whispers of Cain urging him towards violence. His wrath against even his own kind has made him well known across the world, and any army facing him goes to battle fearful of his murderous intent. Among the Lizardmen of Lustria, great reverence is shown to the mighty and wise Slan. It is rare for a skink priest to garner that same respect, but Teto Echo is certainly held to such a standard. Outliving many of his fellow skinks, Teto Echo possesses the knowledge and the gift of prediction. Teto Echo's warnings have seen the diversion of many disasters. He has saved many Slan priests from Skaven ambushes, pointed out the location of Skaven assassins, and predicted incoming threats and invasions of temple cities. When Teto Echo graces the battlefield, the Lizardmen have never lost. As one of, if not the greatest skink priests to ever exist, he has been gifted his very own palanquin to see him from place to place. A great honor indeed, and one totally deserving of the skink that can change the trajectory of comets and weave fate and destiny towards the Lizardmen's favor. It is Teto Echo's great accomplishments that has seen him sent to the eastern border of Koresh to re-establish the geometric web of this lost kingdom. With such a dangerous and deadly task, you want only the best to lead the way, and Teto Echo is up to the task. Many interlopers have entered the jungles of Lustria and have met the persistent defense of the cunning Lizardmen. One of the most determined of these defenders, and certainly one of the fastest, is Inywiy, leader of the Cold One Riders. He has led many brave assaults against the invaders of his home, and while more and more enemies of the Lizardmen arrive all across the coasts, Inywiy is relentless in his pursuits. As savage in battle as he is quick, many of his charges have broken the defenses or gored the flanks of his enemies. Riding atop his horn-one mount, whose name I cannot pronounce, his attacks see his enemies torn to shreds or eaten. He is also known to possess darts tipped with lethal poisons, which he hurls at those facing his charge. Inywiy is a stalwart defender of his home, and will not stop until all enemies are vanquished from his lands. He'll start in Chupeodal, with the Culcan Plains, where he'll have many enemies to crush under his stampede of cold-blooded dinos. If there is ever to be another Lizardmen legendary hero, it would be Chakax, the Eternal Warden, the Saurus Temple Guard most trusted to protect the lives of the Slan Mage priests. He has maintained a watchful vigil for over a century at a time, while the Slann meditate in the Eternity Chambers. He's the last line of defense, and no Slann has ever died under his protection, though not for a lack of assassins trying. Pocanichi is another interesting character who could make for a good hero. A red-crested skink chief who served with Tehenowyn in the wars against the clan Pestilence. He is the creator of the Skaven Pelt banner, which he cut from the hide of a Skaven plague pontifex after defeating him in combat. Another possible pick would be Tuskuta, a chief skink priest who assists his Slann master with finding the old one known as Tlaskoltol. He has worked closely with Teto Echo in the past, and most importantly, he has a very cool feathered cloak. We are now done with the first of the Game 2 races. The High Elves specifically have a lot of cool characters, but I think the Sealord Iseland is a tier above the rest. Very unique and can be placed anywhere on the map. Elira is an interesting character, one that many may not suspect, and certainly she is a long shot. But she is a High Elf who can fight and doesn't ride a dragon or a griffin. It would be awesome to see her in the game. I may be biased towards Eurelion, as I am a big fan of Dreadfleet and the sea-themed characters, but I do think he is one of the more interesting High Elf characters. The Dark Elves would get some really cool new start locations with my picks, specifically near Bretonnia and the Empire. I'm really hoping the Black Prince will eventually make it into the game. Shadowblade is another character that is a fan favorite, and I'm sure many will be glad to see his inclusion. Karan Darkhand and Talaris Dreadbringer are also some big names to bring in. Teto Echo is yet another name that many fans are hoping for. He is quite the famous skink, and Incy Wincy will help to bolster the Cold One riders. I feel that some of the best picks I have were included in this episode, and I can't wait to hear what you all think about them. So make sure to share your thoughts with me down below.